What's up, movie freaks? Welcome to another episode of Silver Screen Symposium. I'm one of your hosts, the Metal Gladiator, and I'm joined here by
Film and Thespian. What's up?
And Phil Camps.
Phil Camps. He's got the boring name. Phil Thespian, Metal Gladiator, three boards, and then Phil Camps. Anyway, what we are doing today, we are continuing with the Christopher Nolan filmography. Up next, we got Insomnia. This movie, I believe, was released 2002. Am I right on that?
I think that's right. Sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, and it's directed by Christopher Nolan. It's starring Al Pacino and Robin Williams. So we're gonna get right into things. And you know, now that I think about it, I did not pull up the actual Silver Screen Symposium. Okay, now I've got it pulled up, actually. All right, I'm ready now. Okay.
Now you're ready.
Redo. Cut. Redo. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. Okay, so yeah, Insomnia. This is his third film. Still a crime thriller, too.
Yeah. He likes his crime thrillers.
Yeah.
He does. He's pretty good at it.
This is his first movie and only movie where he does not have a writing credit.
Really?
Yup.
Yeah, I noticed that someone else's name came up on the screenplay.
Yes, I double checked. I fact checked.
Yeah,
I said it in the last episode. I think I said he was the first one he didn't write,
Yeah.
which is technically correct. But the more correct, after I fact checked myself, the more correct is no writing credit because he has written with other people, usually his brother for the other movies. So, but he's not the sole writer for some of his other movies. So it's more correct to say he has. This is the first one where he has no writing credit. But yeah. Anyway, continue. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Expectations. We've seen 2 Christopher Nolan movies now. So, what was the expectations going into the third one?
Well, we've seen 3 because we watched Odyssey.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's hard to count that because that's his last one, and we're going in order now.
I know what you mean. I'm just being a butt. Anyway,
He does that a lot.
Well, I think going into this one, the first time I went into it, I didn't know that it was his first movie with no writing credit. And I didn't know a lot about it. I think I had heard the least about this movie than any of his other movies. I feel like I had heard more about Following than I did this one. So I really didn't know what to expect. I knew it was a crime thriller. I knew it was kind of like a murder mystery type thing. I didn't really know what to expect, but I know that Christopher Nolan does crime thrillers really, really well. And so that kind of gave me like a little bit of excitement. And I do love a good like crime thriller, murder mystery type thing. Like I like to think of things like Seven or now I'm blanking on all the murder mystery movies that.
You named a good one there, though.
Yeah, Seven. I love Seven. A Walk Among the Tombstones. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. It's got Liam Neeson in it.
Not.
The Snowman with Mikhail Fassbender.
Yes, I remember that one.
That's a good one. Yeah. I just love those types of movies, and from what I had seen about this, it looked like it was going to be in the same vein. So I was really excited for it, and I know Christopher Nolan does those types of movies really well. So I was really excited.
Yeah. Vicams?
I pretty much didn't know anything about this ahead of time, so didn't really have any expectations. Really. Yeah, I went in pretty blind on this.
I'm pretty much the same. I didn't even know like the actors, or I didn't even know if it was gonna be a crime thriller, another one. Like as soon as I booted up the movie, and then I saw that said crime thriller, and then the actors, and I'm like, oh, they're in this. Okay, that's cool. But I had a little bit of a worry going into this because the only other title of Insomnia that I know of was a Stephen King book. So I was like, please don't be a Stephen King adaptation. And of course it wasn't. It wasn't. So I was happy about that because I really did not like that book. I'm not the biggest Stephen King fan. Sorry to Stephen King fans out there, but yeah, that was like I kind of figured that he wasn't going to be doing Christopher Nolan. I didn't expect him to be doing that kind of movie, but I'm just like, just the title of the movie is the same title as the book, so I was just kind of a little worried. I was like, oh, I hope it's not the book. So I really did not like the book.
Yeah.
But thank goodness it wasn't. So
I have
other than that, I was blind. Sorry.
another little fun fact for you. It was not an adaptation. I don't know if you guys know this, but it is a remake. I didn't find that out till yesterday when I rewatched it.
I think I remember seeing that.
And the original stars Stellan Skarsgård and is in the Criterion Collection.
Nice.
In case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty fitting that you're wearing your Norway jersey because the original's a Norwegian film.
Yeah, that was cool. Like I was seeing that when I was basically when I finished watching it. I rented it on YouTube, and then I was seeing like the suggestions and stuff.
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research after I watched the movie to kind of like get an idea of why he directed it, why he picked it up, because obviously since it wasn't like something he wrote, which like up until this point it was, and so like I was just trying to figure out like why he picked it, and like more into that, and then realized it was a remake. I was like, interesting, did not know that.
Yeah, I really want to see the original, but in terms of like remakes, it's a pretty well made movie.
Yeah, can't really say since we haven't seen the original. Can't really say.
I'm just like,
It's a good movie.
Yeah. So definitely we'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Maybe we'll review it here on Source Screen Symposium.
We probably will, considering this is going to be weekly, and this is pretty much now the only way that I'm watching movies right now because just busy. So
Yeah.
we'll probably end up doing it eventually. So yeah.
All right. Ian, where
did you pick this movie, guys?
Did you say why did we pick it?
Yeah, I'm just reading off of the notes. Okay. Let's go into some spoiler-free. Okay.
I was gonna ask where we can watch this.
Oh,
You
where
can't.
we can watch it?
You're not allowed. You cannot watch it.
Yeah. I don't even know what it's on.
You gotta buy it or rent it.
Buy it or rent it.
Buy it or rent it.
Or digital. About it.
Yeah, I rented it on Amazon Prime to watch it.
I bought it on Fandango at home.
So yeah. So all you streamers out, well, that kind of sounds like I'm talking about something else. But the
Streaming
subscription
service.
people. Streaming services. Yeah, that word. I'm already tired, guys. Yeah, that. Yeah, you guys can't watch it. You have to buy it. Buy physical.
Yeah.
Yes. We always recommend buying physical, but it's pretty kind of rent it on Amazon or YouTube or
Wherever.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that's how you can watch it. I definitely would recommend the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
That's it. All right, next, moving on.
moving on.
But no, I think I guess we could kind of go into what it's about a little bit. So it
Yeah,
stars Al Pacino and Robin Williams and what's her name? Crap, I forget.
I'm not good with names either.
Hilary Swank. And yeah, so it takes
What a
place.
name.
Hilary.
Hilary Swank.
Yeah, so it takes place in Alaska, where
Actually, please.
during the summer when the sun doesn't really set, two Los Angeles cops come to investigate a murder, and stuff unfolds. I don't know what I can say without going into spoilers.
Right. Yeah. That's a pretty basic plot outline. I think
Yeah,
enough to kind of get you interested. I think. I mean, if you like the crime thriller stuff, I mean that's most of these plots kind of start off pretty basic, and you just gotta
yeah,
get into it.
yeah. And one of the main reasons it's called Insomnia is because there's no nighttime, and it basically takes place over the course of just several days, but it feels like one long day because the sun never sets.
Right. Yeah, I liked the setting of this movie.
Yeah. It's got some really beautiful shots of Alaska as well, which I've never really been interested in ever visiting Alaska other than maybe to see the Aurora Borealis, but some of those shots I was like, man, I would love to go there.
Yes, some of it was really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Alaska. I really want to go there. I'd honestly like to live there.
But nah, it couldn't be me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
having multiple days, like a month or so, where the sun just doesn't set sounds horrible. I kind of want to experience it, like for like a day or two, just to experience.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to live there. Also, I hate the cold.
I love the cold, so we're like opposites on that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely recommend this movie.
Yeah. The setting,
Oh,
the vibes of the story really well. If you are really interested in crime thrillers like Seven, and whatnot, then it's going to be right up your alley. There's not as much mystery to it as something like Seven. Um, they do kind of reveal what happened pretty early on, maybe about halfway through the movie. So if you're more into something where you're like trying to figure it out with the main characters, this isn't that type of movie.
yeah.
But I would definitely recommend it. I feel like this one's more palatable to the like casual moviegoer than like some of his other movies, I think.
Yeah. considering his last one was Memento, which kind of went all over the place a lot of times. Like this one's very digestible,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing. Just saying, not a
At
bad
all.
thing.
Yeah. It's just, but yeah, it's just a different story, really.
Yeah.
And it still has Christopher Nolan's very it has his style all over it still. So
It feels like his film, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely recommend watching this one. So that's spoiler free kind of territory. Go watch the movie if you can. I know this one's not as accessible, but you know, you can possibly rent it on Amazon or YouTube, or just who knows, you might find
Or you might Goodwill or something.
yeah, find it at a cheap place and stuff. You might already have it. Who knows? You never know what people have. You know, they go look at their movie collection, old movie collection or something, and just be like, "Oh, hey, I don't remember this. Let me put this in." So yeah, we definitely recommend watching this one before continuing in this video because we're about to go into spoilers. So yeah,
Yes.
I definitely noticed that it's really, really hard to talk about like this type of genre without spoiling things. You know, it's just really, really hard,
Yeah. I
especially
feel
with
like
this. Like you said, it's kind of like revealed. Some of the stuff is revealed like halfway through.
but it's still not something you want to like just like
Right.
right. It's still
Yeah.
it's still better to go into it blind, which is always my take personally.
100%.
I like to go into movies not knowing as little as I possibly can. A lot of times the reasons I'll want to watch a movie is because the concept sounds really good, the actors who are tied to it I like, and or the director I like. It's one of those three things. All I need is the concept. I don't need to know every little detail, which is why I have a big problem with movie trailers nowadays. I feel like they just give away the entire movie. I'm like, I stopped watching trailers because I don't want to get spoiled on something.
I hate movie trailers nowadays too.
Like back in the day, they'd be like a minute long, and you wouldn't know much about the movie. It was just you'd find out the concept, and you'd find about who is in the movie and who's directing it. That's all you needed to know, and then you just went and saw the movie, and like there'd be like a crazy like cameo that no one expected to see, or some crazy plot point that was like what the heck. But nowadays it's like all those things are in the trailer.
Yeah. And then you have YouTube channels literally doing like hour-long breakdowns and practically plotting out the entire film, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
And then they get it wrong, and then everyone's upset because they wanted what the guy plotted, the person on YouTube plotted it out to be.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the cycle of nowadays. Like, can we just stop doing that? We're a little bit on a tangent. Stop making trailer breakdowns. Just watch movies. Go into movies as blind as possible.
Anyway, guys, tune in next week when we do a trailer breakdown of.
Trailer breakdown of At Where It Begins.
Silver Screen Symposium. Gonna do a trailer breakdown.
I mean, I guess we kind of did do that with the Acolyte.
We did.
I'm kind of just revealed myself as a hypocrite now, so. But on the plus side, we will more focusing on continuity errors and just overall discussion of like the direction that Disney was taking Star Wars. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a full breakdown. It was like a reaction and discussion.
It was like a breakdown. So yeah, I'm not a hypocrite.
Not
Not a
yet.
hypocrite,
We're
guys.
gonna do a trailer breakdown next week of the Acolyte.
I don't want to watch that again.
We're gonna theorize about it even though it's already come out.
The new Star Wars project with Ryan Gosling. We could break down that trailer. Anyway, we're not talking about Star Wars.
Anyway, yeah, Insomnia. Let's get into that.
Spoilers.
Both we are
Yeah.
going into spoilers. Main discussion. Favorite scenes, characters, emotional moments, humor, themes. So I
Well-
did actually write some notes. They're not
Oh.
very good notes, but I kind of already touched on.
You can write?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, wait. You may be able to write, but can you read what you wrote? Did you only learn to write, or did you learn to read and write? Yeah, no, he can't read it. He doesn't know how to read.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm illiterate.
Well, give it to William. Give it to William.
I don't know how to read.
Oh, okay. Oh, crap.
You... Does Nathaniel know how to read? Can I put it up to the camera?
I just don't know how to write.
You don't know how to write.
I don't know how to do either.
Okay, well, what?
I never had notes on this show.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Milk, eggs. No, that's not it. Okay. Sorry, guys. No, the one thing I kind of did already touch on is the first note I wrote down, and I wrote this in like 30 minutes of the film. I love the setting and atmosphere. Just overall, just the setting and the environment. You know, I just was drawn in. That was like the one thing that drew me in. The plot of like the murder and stuff was, you know, it's a crime thriller. Like you're just gonna have that no matter what. That part wasn't as interesting. Not at the start. Like it got interesting, but like at the start, the thing that drew me in was the setting and the atmosphere overall. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first note. I still don't know exactly what I wrote down, but that's basically the gist of it.
Did you have a favorite scene at all?
That's the second note that I wrote down. I actually did write down awesome chase scene and great suspense with the logs section. I really like that chase scene. And that log part where he Al Pacino's character, I think was it his name Will? I think it was.
Al Pacino was Will, yeah.
Okay. I can't remember if he was Will or if his partner was Will. But yeah, Will started to kind of drown and he was under the logs. Like, I was kind of like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like,
that scene where he like finds a gap
Yeah.
and starts to go up it, and then the two logs just crash together.
I know.
Like,
that
oh
was,
my gosh, that was
that was so good. So, like, here's the thing. And this is why, like, suspense like that works so well in my eyes, because everything nowadays is franchise, blah, blah, blah. You know people are going to be fine because they're in the next thing, or it's a prequel, whatever, you know. But, like, in a 2-hour movie, and how old this movie is, it's like a 2-hour movie is like, well, I mean, we kind of had, like, a secondary main character get shot in the first, like, 40 minutes, so, you know, he could die here, so it's like, there's a little more suspense going with it, you know? It's not like, oh, well, he's in the sequel, so we know he's not dying right now.
Yeah.
Nothing like that, so I really liked it.
Yeah.
Suspense in film just work better in, like, franchises anyway.
Yeah. I thought that was actually my favorite scene. That was the scene I was going to bring up too. Was the logs.
Nice.
That's probably my favorite scene of the whole movie. It's just
Yeah.
it's so intense. The first time I watched it, I was like blown away. I thought it was shot really well, and like it really showed you the danger of like sliding under some logs while they're being transported or whatever it is. It's like he's
Yeah.
gonna drown. he's either gonna drown or his head's gonna get smashed by a log. One of the two.
Yeah. That was such a good like setup too, because it's like it's kind of like an aspect of like you're trapped under ice,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, so the drowning, that's suspenseful, like you got to get out of that. But then he adds another layer of suspense with the logs possibly smashing your head in. So it was
Yeah.
like very cool.
Yeah. You couldn't go up a gap because a log might kill you.
I know.
unlike ice where it's not gonna be moving, you just gotta find an opening, which is just hard to find.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Great scene.
Yeah, I agree. That was probably my favorite scene as well.
I think the chase scene in the log as well was a great scene.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite scene.
Yeah. I just could tell what was going to happen though.
Yeah.
With it.
I mean,
Yeah.
And I was like,
shoot somebody.
as it was happening, I was like, okay, there's no way that he actually shoots, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, like I had it in my head actually that the thing about it is that he's not going to be able to get him because he can't shoot, because he can't tell who it is. Not that he is going to just shoot his.
yeah. I mean, I could this way the it's shot and the way the storytelling was. I was like, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I knew something bad was about to happen. And then when he saw that figure in the shadow in the fog or whatever, I'm like, he's gonna shoot his friggin' partner. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I guess in a way it's predictable, but I still felt like there was a good.
Yeah, and there's more to it than just that. Like, it's supposed to be there because then it's like, did he do it on purpose? Question that comes throughout. So there was like more purpose there for it than just that itself. But
It's that basically becomes part of the biggest like plot point throughout the rest of the movie. So it's not just a frivolous scene.
Yeah. It was a really good scene. The thickness of the fog, and I like the detail because it was like you don't even notice it until like the scene's over, but the detail of like Robin Williams' jacket being green and then the other guy's jacket being somewhat the same color, probably a little different, but it's still kind of like a green color.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, it was a mistake, but then he comes up to her and he's like, "You shot me on purpose." His dying breath is like accusing him of doing it on purpose. So
Yeah.
before that, you had that dinner scene with them talking about the department and stuff crumbling and all that. It's going to make a deal.
Yeah. I did also really like that scene. I know it was just a dialogue scene, but I felt like the two actors, Al Pacino and I apologize, I don't know the other guy's name, but I felt like their acting and the dialogue was like strong enough to like make that scene interesting, and I was invested in that conversation, even though it was just dialogue. I was still really interested in that scene.
Agreed. It's good stuff. Yeah, I honestly haven't seen a whole lot from Al Pacino. Like I don't know.
I don't think I either.
From him.
the big ones obviously are The Godfather and Scarface.
Yeah. I haven't seen either of those movies. I know. People are yelling at me right now.
Dang, neither of you have seen either of them?
Correct.
I've seen bits of Scarface.
everyone's seen bits of Scarface, but
Well, I mean, I've seen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing it when Dad was watching it or something. But it wasn't the scene that everybody knows, like the "say hello to my little friend."
Yeah.
It wasn't that scene. It was a different scene earlier in the movie.
Hmm.
But I can't like
I have seen him
tell
in
about
a
it.
few things. I'm realizing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, House of Gucci. But those are all like recent.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of his like classic stuff. Which is kind of, but like this movie was like, I was like really impressed with his acting. I'm like, I see why people say that he's one of the best actors ever. Because
yeah,
I was blown away by some of his scenes. And the more he like got more and more sleep deprived as the movie went on, and he just became more, just was untangling more and more. I thought he did a really good job of keeping like understanding where his character was in his sleep deprivation, to the point where it felt like it was a slow unraveling, whereas as like it showed that he understood the script and he understood the character and he understood where in time everything was, which is really important for somebody who's like sleep deprived. And that's the whole point of the movie, is there's just a long
yeah.
um, trajectory.
I completely understood the whole sleep deprived part. They portrayed that pretty well. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what you said with like it's a slow unraveling and stuff. Because like when you say that, I'm thinking of the scenes when he's like zoned out, a little bit zoned out. He's being more and more zoned out each conversation he's having with the police department, and then at night he's taping the curtain to the wall, stacking everything in the room. Towards the end. So it's just like a really nice progression. So
Yeah.
so really really good stuff. Definitely want to see more from that actor. And honestly, even though I'm more familiar with Robin Williams, I still don't think I've seen a whole lot with Robin Williams either, which
I've
bothers
seen
me.
I've seen more of Robin Williams. I've
Yeah,
there are a few movies
I
that
definitely have.
there are a
I
few movies
haven't.
he's done that I'm not, that are like more of his popular ones that I haven't seen, but I've definitely seen more of his. I've seen I guess some of his more popular ones would be along the more serious route, would be Dead Poet Society. I've seen Goodwill Hunting. I've seen um, Good Morning Vietnam. I've seen, those are the first like three that come off the top of my head. As far
Yeah,
as like more on the serious side,
yeah. I haven't seen either of those. I feel like I've seen most of his like comedic stuff, like Jumanji, classic.
yeah, seen that one.
I remember. I can't even think. I've probably seen some other stuff, but like one of his last roles, I remember watching. I think it was called what was it called? It stars Simon Pegg, and he gains this power that whenever he moves his
Oh,
hand like this,
I know what
it
you're
does
talking about.
something. I think it's called like Absolutely Everything or Anything. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something along that line. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
but
about. I've
like
seen the movies.
he Robin Williams, that's like one of his last roles, and he does the voice of his dog.
Yeah,
So I remember watching that because I
I've
was like,
seen
"Oh,
that.
this is one of his last roles here," so I want to watch that. That I remember liking that a lot, actually. I thought that was a
Yeah,
real fun movie.
I remember seeing it on Netflix and seeing the like clip that it shows, and I was like, that movie doesn't look very good. And then I watched it. I was like, I'm actually surprised.
Yeah,
I was actually pleasantly surprised by that movie. Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
good one.
So yeah, I just need to. I mean, I don't watch movies too often anymore, so except for with this now. So we'll get to films.
Yeah, we're gonna watch every film on here, so stay tuned.
Every film. Oh my gosh.
Every film
We're gonna
ever.
be doing this podcast in the nursing home in our 80s and 90s, guys. So
We're gonna have to do a film. We're gonna have to start doing this daily instead of weekly if we do that.
I mean, at
And we
that
still
point,
And we
could.
still won't get through them all.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in a nursing home doing that, we could do it. Because what else are we doing?
Yeah, at that point.
we could put out 2 episodes a day. At that point. Put another movie. This movie came out. No, I can't remember. What
Yeah.
are we doing? Oh yeah, we're talking about movies.
But speaking of
I
Robin
saw a
Williams,
rabbit over there the other day. Right across the lawn.
speaking of Robin Williams, what did you guys think of his performance in this movie?
Great. I really like it.
Pretty good. Pretty solid.
I thought it was interesting that he played the villain, the killer.
Yeah.
Never seen him in like a role like that before. Usually he's the good guy or the mentor or something like that. So it's just
Yeah.
interesting to see him in this type of role, and also where he's not like really cracking jokes like much at all. And I'm like, he's notorious for like doing a lot of improv, and so I'm curious like if he did improv any of his lines in this movie. I'm sure he did because he was notorious for doing that. I'm just curious about like where it might be, what he might have changed, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he did well. Like I liked I always am intrigued when I see an actor that's kind of like does not like an actor. I mean, it can be an actor that kind of plays the same character, you know. We got a lot of those these days. But I just like it when actors do something different. They do a role that they're not used to. So,
Yeah.
and
And a
then
lot of
it's
times,
even better when they do it well. So,
yeah, he's done all sorts of things, but he did have those like types of characters where he was being like a little silly, a little bit on the comedic side and whatever. But this character was definitely not that. And I think he did a really good job of being on the opposite side of Al Pacino as well. I thought their dynamic was really interesting and fun, and I guess a weird, twisted way of fun, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
Fun to watch, interesting to watch. Their dynamic was
Yeah,
was
I think they worked really well together.
yeah.
The scenes with them together are by far some of the best scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, come to think of it, I don't think Robin Williams even had a lot of scenes without Al Pacino in them anyway.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So, good stuff. The casting in this movie was very solid.
Yeah.
Even
It was,
a lot of the other actors I'm not familiar with are still like perfect for the roles. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna point out talking about those two and all. It was a really great scene though when they were talking over the phone, but Robin Williams starts like talking about what happened and everything, and he's like, "Oh, it's great to get this off my chest." He's like, "Oh, I could sleep at night now." Al Pacino's just like, "Fuck you," like, because he hasn't slept for days.
Yeah. And also he's just listening to this guy just like talk about how he killed this girl as if it was like, you know, he's struggling with depression or whatever. Like,
Right.
it's like, oh, got that off my chest.
Yeah. Oh, I can sleep at night now.
You want to talk about your partner?
Good.
He just hangs up the phone.
I would too. I was like, dude. But yeah, I guess getting more into the actual plot of the movie. So yeah, they do. Like we said earlier, they find out who the killer is like pretty early on. In the same scene where Al Pacino's Will Dormer's partner gets killed is the same scene, like almost not quite where we find out who did it, but they like almost catch him. They would have caught him had there not been like a tunnel in that cabin or whatever, and fog that day. And then like 2 or 3 scenes after that, you find out who the killer is because he calls Will on the phone, and immediately, if you know anything about Robin Williams, you know it's Robin Williams. It's like, oh, Robin Williams is the killer. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so I think part of the plot that we have not really gone into detail about yet so far is the stuff that's going on in LA. The reason they're there is the chief of police in this small Alaska town called LA and asked for some advice. There's like some legal stuff going on in LA with Will Dormer's character and his partner. And so the chief of police in LA just decides to send them to Alaska to kind of like blow off steam and I guess from my understanding, try and cool off the situation a little bit, and to help them kind of, I guess, get away. And it's revealed in the dinner scene, which is like maybe 10-15 minutes into the movie, that Will Dormer's partner is going to make a deal, which is going to end up putting a lot of criminals on trial that they put away back on trial because they had to they'd have to reopen some cases and relook at them, which would very likely lead to a lot of serial killers and horrible people getting back out on the streets. And Will Dormer hard disagrees, partly because he doesn't want those people to get out, but also because his reputation is on the line. Which leads to, them kind of getting into a fight. And then there's the scene where they're chasing Robin Williams in the fog, and then Will Dormer shoots his partner. It's kind of like, did he do it on purpose because he didn't want that stuff to get out? And how do you guys feel like they handled that section of the plot? That, like, I guess subplot, I guess, or underlying theme.
Yeah, it's not like brought up too much. Yeah, like there's enough there that you do kind of feel like maybe he did do it on purpose, but like his portrayal is like, yeah, that was an accident. Like he shot him by accident. But then like he gets so sleep deprived that he doesn't even know anymore. It's just like super interesting. And then the call that he gets from the LA chief or whatever, and then he basically just tells him to go screw himself. I really like that scene. He's kind of sleep deprived quite a lot at that point, but he was just basically
Yeah.
telling him off, blah blah blah.
And the LA office, the LA chief of police, kind of implies that he shot him on purpose, even though he would doesn't know anything. He wasn't there or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
which just sets Will Dormer off and is like, "Yo, you weren't there. You don't know anything. You're just sitting there behind your desk with your thumb
yeah,
up your butt. What are you doing?"
yeah. I definitely think that whole section of the movie was just well done because it does. I mean, if that wasn't there, there'd be more confusion about Will's character just in general.
Yeah,
So I think it was, it was needed for sure, but I think it was it gave you enough to kind of understand. It didn't explain everything. It didn't go into great detail about what was going on, but there was enough there that
yeah.
I think it was pretty well done.
You have any thoughts, William, about the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's done pretty well. It is, if you're not paying attention to what they're saying, that's an easy to miss part about the stuff that's going on in LA.
Yeah,
Because there was at one point where I was like, wait, what exactly is going? And it took a little bit later before I was getting the gist of what was going on back in LA. So I think that part is kind of easy to miss if you're not paying super close attention to what they say. Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree. I think it was on my second watch that I kind of started to pick up a little bit more about what was going on. I got a basic understanding on my first watch, but I still was not entirely sure. I feel like I'm still not entirely sure, just because they don't spend a lot of time talking about it, and it sounds like complicated police stuff that I don't understand. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
the part that made me kind of understand enough was the part where he starts telling the hotel owner lady how he caught this guy who tortured and killed a kid, and he had to fake evidence in order to send him away because there wasn't enough evidence, but he knew he was guilty and there just wasn't enough evidence for a jury to convict him, so he faked evidence. And then he talked about how the stuff that's going on in LA is going to reopen that case, and that guy's more than likely going to be back out on the streets, and he couldn't let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I really liked that because there's kind of little glimpses of that throughout the movie, just small glimpses and stuff, and you're just kind of what's going on with those? What are those flashes of him wiping blood, or who's wiping blood? You don't even know it's him exactly. Who's wiping blood? What's going on here? And then he kind of that story of him planting the evidence really binds the plot a lot, I think, with the LA stuff and just his character drive and his motivation and whatnot.
Yeah, and it also kind of shows you why he's continuing to hide the fact that he killed his partner, trying to keep that a secret. And
Yeah,
it's also kind of showing because he starts to the Robin Williams character admits to Al Pacino that he killed her, but he doesn't admit it anywhere where he could get convicted. And basically uses the fact that he saw him kill his partner to like blackmail him basically into helping him. And it works for a little bit, but that scene also kind of shows that he's like kind of done with helping a serial killer. Or not, he's not really a serial killer because he only killed the one girl, but you know what I mean.
He could, potential serial killer, we could say that.
Yeah. He did say at the beginning he's going to do it again. It's going to happen again.
Yeah. That was one thing that I thought was really cool. Or at least I kind of had that interpretation of like Robin Williams was playing this character like so well, and like his habits and whatnot, the way he was talking about the mortal and stuff. It just kind of like, yeah, I definitely get the impression that this is a potential serial killer. Like he probably would be doing it again.
Yeah. If he gets the chance, he's going to do it again type thing. Yeah. Because he even talked about he's like killing changes you, like, and he didn't talk about it in like a negative way. He was just like, I felt like, well, he did kind of talk about it in a negative way. He was like, I got really scared and I was like so terrified. But then as soon as it ended, like I was clear, everything was clear, and it changes you and you become like, and the way he's talking about it's like, this dude's gonna kill again if he gets the chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the dialogue in this movie was really well done. There's a lot of scenes where like it's just talking and it really like draws you in and you just like listen to these characters, which is very different from other Nolan movies. Nolan isn't really known for his dialogue scenes.
Yeah.
Or really his character building as much, even though he does have some pretty good characters. In his movies, he's not as well known for his characters, and this movie does dialogue and characters really well, which is probably partially because Nolan didn't write this movie. But there are also other things about this movie that I think are weaknesses to the movie because it wasn't written by Nolan, if that makes any sense.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I thought the dialogue was pretty good. There was like, I don't know. I feel like this is a really good, just overall, very solid introduction or just example of what crime thriller should be like. Because like, it's easy to get into cliches and everything, but I feel like dialogue is quite important for crime thrillers. You know, you're not gonna have. I mean, you have the chase scene, you have the climax and stuff like that. But when you think about like interrogations, investigations, all that stuff, like a lot of that is very dialogue focused.
Yeah.
The dialogue's got to be on point, and I definitely think it was for this movie for sure. 2 thumbs up. Thoughts on dialogue, Veer Camps?
Pretty good. Pretty good. No, it's pretty solid. Nothing's ever like boring or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it was like spectacular though either.
Yeah. It's not Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hunger or anything.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. But it's good for what it is. It's good for the film.
Yeah. And it does, yeah, like you said, there's no like parts that are like boring. You're not like, oh my gosh, stop talking and move on to the next thing. It's interesting enough. And I think that also comes down to directing as well, because like you need to be able to direct a scene to where like it's interesting, whatever's happening on screen is interesting enough that my goodness, I can't talk. the dialogue and what's happening on screen is both interesting enough to keep you invested in the story and what's happening and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think we're seeing a little side effect of the movie we're talking about, Insomnia, there.
Yeah. I, well, I've had a very long day and I'm tired. So,
Understandable.
yeah. I'm sure William is too.
One thing I do want to talk about is pacing. Not too much to talk about. I just, want to hear you guys' thoughts on the pacing.
Yeah, there's. I'll let William. I feel like I'm talking this time. Which I know is the point. But I feel like I'm talking and William hasn't talked, so William, go back.
Sorry.
He's the quiet one in the. He's like the main host. He's the one that made the show.
And the most quiet. But no, I think it's kind of the same thing I said with the dialogue. Like, it's never boring or anything like that. So I think the pacing is pretty good. Yeah, it doesn't ever really feel slow or boring.
I agree. I think 2 hours was very solid for this film, for this story.
I'm trying to think if there were any moments that I felt like it dragged at all, and I can't really think of any. Maybe I guess near the end when stuff starts to feel like it's wrapping up, but before it kind of feels like things are wrapping up. Al Pacino is letting the girl's boyfriend take the fall, letting Robin Williams get away, and Robin Williams is going to get away with it, and Al Pacino is going to go back to LA, and everything's going to be fine. I feel like there's maybe 5 minutes that kind of maybe drag in that section, but other than that, I feel like it's pretty tight knit.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up for pacing. Yeah. I had a nitpick. I wrote down a nitpick because this happened twice. One of the times it was basically at night, so there was no traffic or anything. But one of the times, Will was walking to Robin Williams' apartment or whatever, and just my nitpick is he's literally walking in the middle of the road. There's a 4-way stop, and his character is just going straight down the middle, across the street, and I'm just it's just one of those things that you kind of yell at the character. It's like, you were walking in the middle of the road. What are you doing? That's just a little nitpick that I had that I wrote down because it kind of bothered me a little bit. The part where he was walking in the middle, directly on the yellow line, that was at night, so that wasn't a big deal. No one was around. But the one part that really bothered me is him just he's over here. He's at a bus stop. There's a 4-way stop here, and he's going to this building, and he just goes straight down the middle instead of going here and here.
Small town in Alaska. I don't know how busy those roads are.
They didn't look too busy, but he also almost hit a woman in the movie too. But that was because of Insomnia.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a funny little nitpick that I had, just to, Can't all be positive, guys. Movie's not perfect.
No. I feel like I have more, I guess, slightly negative things to say about this movie than I do his previous ones. I feel like I was searching for things not looking for the negative, but searching for I guess critiques in the other ones, and I was like struggling to find like little critiques. But this one,
Yeah.
I feel like I have more that I'm kind of just like been pondering a lot since I watched it the first time and since I watched it the second time. We can get into that whenever you guys are ready to get
I'm
into it.
I'm fine with getting into that now. I did make one more note, but that kind of ties in with the end of the film, so we can get into that a little later.
All right. I guess some of my biggest issues with this movie, like I kind of uh, alluded to it earlier, but come down to the fact that Nolan didn't write the movie, and maybe that's because I kind of went into this expecting more of a Nolan type movie, and then ended up not getting that outside of just director style, and yeah, so the whole thing about like when I think of Nolan, I think of like plot twists, and I think of like spectacle, and I think of uh, stories being told really well but out of order.
Yeah.
Now he has made plenty of movies where things are told in linear. I think pretty much all the bad movies are told linear, so and those are all fantastic. So it's hard to you can't really just say, oh, he can't make a movie linear and it be good. But and that's not really a big gripe I have with this movie. It's more so the other two, where with spectacle and with plot twists. And I guess plot twists not necessarily. It's more just he has a really good. He's really good at like building something up, and then there's a big payoff at the end. It doesn't necessarily have to be a plot twist, but he's really good at just having a setup and payoff. And not that this movie doesn't have good setup and payoff. I just feel like it's not as big as like some of his other movies, where like the setup is really well done and the payoff is like really big and announces itself and like it's awesome. I felt like this movie was very uh, self-contained, I guess is a good word for it. It's very slow burn. It takes its time. It builds up the story, but the payoff at the end isn't as. It's satisfying and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not. I'm struggling to find the words for um, how the end of this movie made me feel. Like it wasn't. I felt like it just kind of ended like a normal movie, and there wasn't like anything super special about the ending. And again, not saying it was bad. It was a good movie. It was a good ending. It just I felt like it's kind of I feel like the
Yeah.
first half of the movie was really well done, really well written, and like very interesting. And then the last half of the movie just kind of like felt like a regular crime thriller.
Yeah, I understand what you're meaning, because yeah, I kind of felt that way too. It was like it wasn't portrayed horribly, and n- not like that. It wasn't anything like that, but it was. You were like, okay, they got the killer. He kind of dies in the process. Okay, just kind of expected that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I can kind of understand what you're saying about like the first and second half, because like the first half draws you in, and then it's just kind of like, I guess you could argue that that's kind of like a thing with these type of movies, is revealing too much too soon kind of kills the
Momentum.
vibes.
Yeah.
you know, you don't have the mystery anymore and stuff. And that it could work, but most of the time it just doesn't seem to work very well.
Yeah. You have to really be, if you're gonna reveal the killer that early, you have to be like on top of everything, and you have the
Yeah.
ending to be really tight and really good and interesting enough to keep people invested. And I think this movie did it like pretty well, but I still feel like the ending kind of wasn't as um and maybe it's just more my expectations, because I think when I found out that this was a crime thriller, and like the first few scenes are like Al Pacino walking into a room, noticing everything, and then he looks at the body, notices stuff that weren't on the autopsy, and then and so I'm just like expecting more of like a murder mystery, and I'm expecting there to be a mystery, and like the whole movie is him trying to solve this thing, and then it's the killer reveals himself halfway through the movie, and it's like, all right, well, that kind of killed that momentum. Um, and again, maybe that's just my own expectations, and because on the first watch, that did kind of like kill the vibe for me. Second watch, I was like, well, maybe it's not. That's not the type of movie that this is trying to be. Maybe this is a different type of movie. And when I just watched the movie for what it was and let the movie reveal itself to me the way that it's meant to be, I enjoyed it more. But I still kind of still kind of feel like the ending was a little flatter than I would have liked.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying too, because like it does. I had something, but now I'm kind of blanking. Talk, William.
It was there, and then it was gone.
Was there? Now it's there. I don't know.
I pretty much agree, though, with Nathaniel. We'll see. That yeah, the ending's not super special. Feels. I wish, honestly, too, like the movie is good, but like overall, this feels a lot more average than the previous two movies that we've done. In the sense of, if you just showed me this movie, I would have been like, okay, this is a pretty decently average movie from the early 2000s. I wouldn't have known who made it.
Yeah.
But again, too, it is a remake. So I do feel like it's not as, so far the least Nolan movie that we've watched.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think, and again, I think that comes down to the script. I think that comes down more to, and like we were saying, we were like talking how that we enjoyed the dialogue, we enjoyed a lot about the script, but I think if Nolan had written it, it would have been a very different film. And I like to think that it would have been better had Nolan written it himself. But
Okay. So I got something that what I was trying to say. Just trying to find the words, trying to express myself. Um, I think the main point, going back to what you were saying, Nathaniel, about like having like the first half and the second half, I feel like there's kind of a little confliction with portrayal, because in the first half is more murder mystery, and there's like you're getting a lot of dialogue of like detective deduction and all of this. Like, Will is looking at the body. He's noticing this and that. You know, they went to the girl's room. In like the first almost 30 minutes of the movie, they're setting up a different movie than what it actually is. What it
Yeah.
ends up being. So I think that has something to do with like how you're feeling about most of the film, you know. It's like, yeah, the kind of like the conflict of the killer and the main character is it's a cool concept. It has been done well, you know. I'm sure I haven't really seen too much of crime thrillers, but like it's a cool concept, kind of like a rivalry with the antagonist and protagonist. It's really nice, but when it just feels odd in this movie because the first like 20, 30 minutes, it just feels like it's setting up something else.
Yeah. And then you have those two interrogation scenes with the boyfriend and the best friend, and those those were also really great scenes. Both of those, and yeah, it's kind of weird that you like have these like scenes where he's like doing detective work, then he has his two interrogation scenes, and then all of a sudden they reveal the killer, and now they're at odds. They're doing more of like a mental battle, which I guess is it's not bad, and I think they did it pretty good for the most part. I'm really just coming back to the ending. I think the ending just felt generic, like a shootout. The bad guy dies, and he shoots the good guy, and then the good guy dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
The one thing I will say, and this is going to go back to that note that I mentioned that I wrote down, is kind of like it has a underlining. The thing that kind of brings me back to the ending. Most of it is generic. It's like, okay, the killer's here. The girl's going to see him for something else. Then he's going to attack her, and then the main character is rushing to get her. Yeah, that's pretty generic for, you know, crime thrillers. I feel like I've seen that a few times, you know. But for me, the thing that kind of makes it at the very, very end is when he's dying. She's about to throw the evidence away. And
Partner.
yeah, and he was like, no, stay true to yourself. It was kind of like a moral code thing. That's what I wrote down. Is just like moral code. It's like, no, stay true to yourself. Don't go down the path that I did, because I was planting evidence to convict somebody, even though he was most definitely guilty, but he was still doing like a bad cop kind of thing. Like he was planting evidence. That's not something police officers should be doing. So he was kind of like, no, don't destroy that evidence.
Yeah.
Because I like that. That's the part that kind of brought me back into the movie and into the characters. Because like after the whole shootout, I'm just like, okay, it's fine, but like it is generic, like you said. But then right at that last moment, she's about to throw that out, and he's like, no, no, no. That was some good character work, and I think that was what brought the film back together.
I agree. I really like that moment as well, and the moment where he's like dying, and she's like trying to like keep him alive, and he's like, "No, just let me sleep. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep."
That's what I was. I was like, "Oh, finally some sleep."
Sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, he had that peace in his eyes, like, "Oh, finally."
Which again, great acting from Al Pacino. Like that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how much of that was like studio and how much of that was from the original. So
yeah,
I wonder if it's the same kind of ending in the original, where it's just a shootout. And
I am really interested to watch the original.
That felt more studio to me than anything else, personally. I think maybe that's why I'm having an issue with it. It felt because this is Christopher Nolan's first studio film. His other two films were independent. This is his first studio. And I guess it was kind of also like a test to see how well he would do with A-list actors and how well he would work with a studio and all this stuff. And that's part of the reason why he picked up the project in the little research that I did. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, I was curious about why he did this film. And that was one of the reasons. It was kind of like, it was a chance to work with A-list actors. It was a chance to work with a studio. It was a chance to kind of like prove himself as a director.
His test before he got Batman.
Yeah. And I think the movie was really well done, and I think he did a perfect job with A-list actors, and I think he did prove himself. But since it was his first studio film, I feel like that scene at the end with the shootout was like a studio note.
Yeah.
Especially because like it felt so 2000. The
Yeah.
rest of the movie felt very unique, and then that felt like 2000s action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly would say that after we're done with Christopher Nolan's discography, we should possibly try to get a hold of the original of this film and watch it and review it.
It looked like, because it came up after I finished this one on Prime. The original came up, and I think that one is on Prime. Like, not buy or rent. On what? Tubi.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Gotcha.
Once I realized that, I was like, can I watch that anywhere?
Right.
It's on Tubi.
Nice.
I'm so glad you guys didn't hear that. That was a terrible pun.
What was it?
I said to be or not to be.
And you're fired. All right, so we're going to be taking auditions for, we need a third.
Audition. We'll just get Gray back. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We'll ask Gray to come back on and replace Ian.
I'm back. Calm down. It was just a bit. Jeez.
No, we fired you.
No, you didn't fire me. I came back. You can't fire. I'm hired.
It would be kind of funny to see if Gray could come back on for the Batman one, since Batman is what he did with us before.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. We shall see.
Yeah, I'll have to message him.
Okay, so
Oh, I have a little little fun fact thingy.
Okay. So we're going
'cause-
to trivia stuff.
I guess it could kind of be like that. The main character is Will Dormer, right? So Dormer, like the Latin root from that word, means to sleep,
That's funny.
and it's like where the word like dormitorium, like sleeping room, comes from.
That's cool.
So yeah, I thought that was funny that his literal last name means to sleep, and he can't freaking sleep for days.
6 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's trivia, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like we kind of discussed a good amount. I'm big on like soundtracks and stuff. Wasn't really a lot that caught my attention with this one. It was also kind of pretty basic, generic. It could have been more of a studio thing, you know. But yeah, it just didn't really, catch my attention that much.
I felt like it was very in line with Nolan's soundtracks. I liked it. I kind of agree there weren't like really like standout moments in the soundtrack, but I liked it. I felt like it fit the vibes. I felt like it fit the tone. I felt like it fit the atmosphere. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who did the music for his other two movies before,
Mm.
Memento and Following. I think I can double check. I can fact check myself really quickly though.
I do feel like I really like the the opening titles music was kind of stuck out to me, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of said the same thing or along the same things with the Odyssey, so I don't know. I might not be super crazy about Christopher Nolan's choice of music.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
David Julian. Yeah, he did. Oh, he did The Prestige as well. Yeah, he did Following and Memento and The Prestige.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're bad. I think the soundtracks, are fitting. There's just nothing that sticks out to me, you know.
Yeah.
Except for like the opening titles too. That was pretty much it for me. But
Yeah.
I don't dislike Christopher Nolan's choice of like music. I don't dislike it. I just don't vibe with it that much. I guess
Right.
so far.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, so far I think nothing has really stood out as far as soundtrack wise in all three of these movies. Because every time we get to the soundtrack section, I'm just like, and I can't remember any music.
I always try to bring it up because it's like I'm
even
a fan of
though
music.
Yeah.
And I do like a lot of soundtracks,
And even though we weren't crazy about the Odyssey soundtrack, like there's stuff from that I remember. Like I can play Siren song like in my head, like I can remember some stuff. But these three movies, I can't remember any music.
Yeah.
Like the Odyssey had bits and pieces that were really good.
Yeah.
And then these first like three, I'm just like opening titles for Insomnia, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like all I can say.
I hear the opening title in my head for Insomnia, but I can't think of like what type of music was playing during the log scene. I don't think there was any music playing during the fog scene. And then I don't remember any music playing. I can't think of anything outside of that. And Memento and Following, I don't remember.
Yeah.
There was a whole bit in the Following that I was just like, was there even music, guys? I can't remember.
Yeah, and when you said that, I was like, I don't know. I don't remember any.
I was looking or like listening for it when I was watching the movie, so I remember there being it in there. I just don't remember what it sounded like. I couldn't pull up the music in my head. And that could be more just I don't know if that's a Nolan, just like Nolan likes the type of music that he likes, or if it has more to do with money.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's the same guy.
Yeah. It hasn't done anything to take away from the movie, but it's just like it has not been a piece of the puzzle that I have that I've noticed at all.
Yeah. So we'll see how. I'm definitely going to be focusing on soundtracks because, especially with the next film, Batman Begins. That's one I have seen, not for a while, but that's one I have seen. So I'm definitely going to be trying to listen for that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love music. I love soundtracks. So I'm definitely. It's not like I was not looking out for it or not listening for it in the past three films. I was, but just nothing stood out.
Right.
So, soundtracks are important for me. I feel like they drive a lot of emotion in films, a lot of characterization for what you're seeing on screen, a lot of vibes, atmosphere, and everything like that. They're very important, and it just kind of sucks that like the last three films we've been talking about have not really been that good with the soundtracks. Like they're good enough to get by, like definitely not bad in any way, but just not really sticking out to me.
Yeah. That's all about the change.
I hope. I hope. All right. Well, I think that's enough of soundtracks. Soundtrack is a meh. The thumb is, something like that. I don't know.
Well, his next one is Hans Zimmer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
All right. So that I only wrote the 4 notes there, so I didn't write too much.
Are you guys ready to give it our final ratings?
I honestly think so.
Yeah.
Can I go first since I kind of did the intro? Okay.
No, in
Yeah,
fact,
just
we
fire
don't
it
even
again,
want you to
guys.
go at all. We don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, I enjoyed Insomnia. I'm really glad that it wasn't a Stephen King adaptation. But that aside, I thought it was a pretty solid movie. It's very. There's some stuff with like subplots that you can miss if you're not paying attention, but I think overall it's a very easy to digest kind of movie. Um, I wouldn't recommend this as like a forced Nolan film because there's just some things that's not necessarily as Christopher Nolan. Like I would definitely recommend following in Memento Force, but like it's pretty good for what it is. I do like. I think the thing that really made this movie for me, and I'm sure you guys would agree, is Al Pacino and Robin Williams. Their performances, and especially together, were pretty good. So, I just think this is overall a solid film. I do have more problems with this one. We went into a lot of like the endings and stuff, and just the overall vibe, conflicting vibes of first and second half of the film. Nothing was like insanely terrible. Like I was just like ripping my eyes out, kind of bad, but it's not perfect. So I think a 6 out of 10 is a pretty solid rating for this film. All right.
William, you go.
William,
You can go.
I go next. Yeah, so also, yeah, it's pretty solid, pretty good film, good performances. But overall, I just kept having a lot of feelings of average early 2000s film. Like that feeling just kept coming back to me a lot for it. And it makes sense that it would, first studio film for him and stuff like it. Yeah. So yeah, overall, like pretty good, but also kind of average. I gave it a 7 out of 10, but I was like right on the fence between a 6 and a 7.
6.5. So what's your final? 6 or 7?
But I gave it a 7, but it was right on the fence. Yeah. Yeah, it was like I was like debating giving it a 6. I ended up going with a 7, but it was like close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. It's got some really great stuff. Really got some great moments. I think it's directed really well. I think Nolan's style comes through really well. Robin Williams and Al Pacino are fantastic in this movie. I think even Hilary Swank did a great job. I don't think there was a bad performance in this movie. Even like, I think the one that I could like pick apart the most is probably the boyfriend during the interrogation scene. But even that, like, I think was great. And also, I'm just thinking about this is a no name sitting across one of the greats of all time, and he's like, doing great. Like, he's not like having like a hard time or anything, which I think is impressive. So I don't think there was any bad performances. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think I did kind of go into, I was kind of expecting a different movie from what the beginning was, and then when it went into a different movie, I was kind of like shook a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then on the rewatch, I let it just play out the way that it was, being like, this is a different movie. Enjoyed it a little bit more in that sense, but again, the ending kind of felt like a studio note and kind of average and whatever. And I think there's a lot more of like what you were saying, William, where it feels more like average 2000s movie, which isn't necessarily bad, but isn't necessarily good either. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. I would still recommend it to crime thriller fans. But I agree with you, Ian. It's not. If someone says, I want to start watching Nolan movies, where should I start? I would not say Insomnia.
No.
Um, but yeah, it's not a bad movie by any means. I think I would give it a solid 7. I guess leaning more towards a 6 if I had to choose, but I still solid 7.
Cool. So far, we have not had super conflicting opinions with Christopher Nolan. I think the fourth one was just the Odyssey. Yeah. That one, we all need to. Yeah.
William and I still had the same rating. You just it's lower on it than we were.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many things that took me out of that movie.
Yeah.
So.
We still weren't like super conflicting on it though either. Even though our ratings are different, we haven't had one that's been super conflicting, I don't think yet.
Yeah.
Yet. We will.
Yeah. We will.
We will. I don't know. Eventually we're going to do a movie that we just do not agree on.
Yeah.
One of us is going to love it. One of us is going to hate it.
And might not.
One of us is going to be in between.
Yeah. One of us is going to give it a 1 out of 10. One of us is going to give it a 10 out of 10. And the other one's going to give it a 5 out of 10. We're going to be completely all different.
Yeah. It's like, just thinking of all, like, interest and stuff, I'm just like, what movie is that anyway? I don't even know. I can't even think of it.
I have one where I have one that I've been, like, sitting on. And, like, I think this one would be, like, a good like conversation, because I feel like we're gonna have. I'm not gonna say it on here because you just gotta wait. It's not a Nolan movie, so you're gonna have to wait till after the Nolan movies.
Yeah.
But
also, I will say, since we've wrapped up and everything, I think it will be kind of easy to because I'm just kind of like, yeah, we're doing the Christopher Nolan stuff. We do want to do the original Insomnia as well, so that might be right after that. But also, it's like, after that, what are we going to do? So, recommendations are welcome, for sure. Like, if there's a movie that you want us to talk about, we would definitely appreciate it, especially with us doing this on a weekly basis. You know, we need recommendations.
We need content. Give us content.
Content.
All right.
Invest.
Is there another director you'd love to see us do an entire filmography through? I can pick a couple that I would love to do.
Yeah.
If we get the chance, Denis Villeneuve or Robert Eggers. We've done one of his films already. Two of his films. We've done two of his films already.
Yeah.
And he's coming out with a new one this year, so
Yep.
he would be a great one to dive into as well.
Great one.
I think it would be nice for us to kind of go a deep dive into directors and stuff, but also like in between, just have some movies here and there. You know, some recommendations and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely like the idea of going through a director's discography and breaking it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bong
I
Joon-ho
would
is
say
another
actor.
director that we should.
Who?
Bong Joon-ho is another director that we should go through.
Yes.
I would say we could do actors as well, but that's directors take more time in between each movie. Actors do like several years, so if you choose an actor, it'd probably be like a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And even in the beginning, it'd be like they're in it for a minute, and then the rest of the movie's garbage. You know.
That
so-
makes sense because it's like actors that they're in the production. The directors are in the pre-production, production, and post-production. So
yeah. Some actors do all three, but
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
once they're like well established, usually.
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely put in some recommendations. We would definitely appreciate that, and we will get to them eventually.
Like,
We'll probably
like
do.
I'm gonna watch every movie on this podcast.
Yeah, I say eventually because this is a weekly show, and we are right now still got quite a few films to go with Christopher Nolan. So
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks for watching as always.
What do we watch next, Ian? What's
What
next?
are we watching next? I see it right now. Actually, we are
Where?
watching Batman Begins. Yeah, that one right there. Ooh, oh yeah, I haven't seen this one in a long time.
Yeah.
So, like I
And-
said in an earlier episode, I've only seen like Inception and the Batman trilogy. So, been so long I can't even have an opinion on them. So, I am excited. Expectations are high with these ones. So, excited
Yeah.
for Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, be there. Be square.
Which that'll be my birthday. This episode releases on my birthday.
Nice. Happy birthday.
I'll be turning 30.
Welcome to the club. Everybody put down happy birthdays in the comments.
Yeah.
Come and thespian. All right. We are closing it out, I guess.
Yeah. Keep the
Stay tuned.
discussion going in the comments. Like,
Absolutely.
subscribe. All the things.
All the things.
We
do reach
appreciate
out,
we appreciate everyone who watches, likes, and subscribes and comments.
But not the people who don't. So sucks to be you.
Views, views are still good.
Alright. See you in the next one.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.